It takes more than water to keep your plants and gardens growing during southern Nevada summers, and one thing in the soil to help might not be what you'd expect.
I lost a couple of trees already because of that heat we had in July. 8 News Now reporter Ozzy Mora takes us beneath the ground to get a look at how worms are helping.
Worms, worms, and more worms. It's definitely not for the squeamish. Thousands of these worms are safely kept in Dennis Wichter's garage.
The worm farm all started out with my wife. She had a garden and we were moving the garden and I found there were tons of worms in it.
Wichter says there are many benefits worms can provide to your garden.
The main goal of the worm farm is to be able to recycle and reuse what is currently going to the landfill.
He's talking about worm composting, and there's a specific composting worm that tends to work better in the desert heat.
I chose the red wiggler because the climates that they live in. There's a lot of other composting worms out there, but they won't live in our climates.
These slimy critters create wonders, turning your food scraps into a rich soil.
So the sole purpose is to be able to recycle what is currently waste and a byproduct.
That means the plants feed the soil feeds the worms, and it's a continuous feeding cycle. Showing us his backyard, Wichter says because of worm composting, he hasn't tended his garden in 2 years. And says summer is the best time to prepare your garden for the fall.
If you want to start your own worm farm at home, you can buy a worm bin like this one. 500 to 1,000 worms. Put it in here. Bedding, some bedding in there. And finally, the food scraps.
Wichter says the worm bedding can consist of shredded newspaper, cardboard mix, biodegradable materials, and more. As for the food scraps,
vegetables, fruits, and then on occasion they'll get sweets, right? So they really like pumpkins and watermelon.
And not to attract any rodents, Wichter says don't put any candy or dairy products in your worm bin. Ozzy Mora, 8 News Now.
Hopefully you're not about to chow down for dinner, right? Wichter tells Ozzy to keep the worms happy and healthy in the bin. Spray it with a little water, but not too much. If you would like to learn more about worm composting, go to 8newsnow.com for more information.